For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a review on a brand new model from Vango. So this here is the Vango Anantara TC 600 XL. You may have seen our video on the 600 XL Anantara, the non-TC version. The main difference between the two essentially is just this is technical cotton, i.e. a polycotton material, whereas a normal XL is actually a polyester. So the joys of obviously TC polycotton is that it's actually breathable. So on a warmer day, it's a lot cooler on the inside of there. So the weave actually sort of opens up, allows to pass air through, it actually sort of breathes, which is much nicer. So even on a slightly warm day in the UK, you will notice a difference internal. The other joys of it actually in sort of colder temperatures, it keeps the weave contracts and keeps the warmth in. So you get the best of both worlds. And generally what you find is with polycotton, you also get kind of a longer lifespan. As well as just generally it's a nice fabric to work with. It's quiet in the wind, so you haven't got that sort of synthetic flapping, and it's always much easier to get looking really nice and crisp. Generally, the Anantara is a really exciting model, and I know a lot of people are probably looking at this because it's kind of Vango at their best. It's inflatable, it's really sizable, and due to this kind of new construction they've created, which what they call villa construction, it means you've got a much more sort of uprights on the sides are much more vertical, so it means the interior height is actually better. So if you were looking at something like this model in comparison to the Illusion, which is still in the range, for me this beats it hands down. Okay, it's a little bit more money, but the features that built into this trump it by a mile away. And certainly with the things like where we do Attwoolls interest-free finance, you know, it's not really that much of a stretch if you see. And if you're spending that kind of money, personally I think it's worth spending a little bit extra and then going for this. One thing, like I said, the main change is because you've got more kind of sort of better internal height, your same width for 440, and it's not too dissimilar depth as well, but you have really big zones. So in the sleeping area it's much larger, bigger depth, so you can get camp beds and things like that in there as well. The living area feels bigger because the walls aren't necessarily coming in top of you as much as they were with previous models. And yet again, you've also got an side entrance into the canopy, which is sort of completely unique to this kind of style, with a big nice mesh door, a browse safe canopy as well. So really, like I say, it's quite unique in terms of where it sits in the range. And if you look at other polycotton tents, I think value for money wise, it still comes out really good. Check out our website for our latest deals. We are doing a really nice package deal on this with a footprint carpet and the tent itself. The tent itself comes with a dual action hand pump, as you can see here, and you can see our own Attwoolls pitching and packing videos. Took myself about 12-13 minutes doing it on my own, literally from the first peg in to also sort of the last guy rope going in as well. Yet again, there's also a packing video you can check out to show you how it goes back in the bag more than happily. So you've got a pressure gauge on there as well, so physically the pump actually locks on, so you can actually get a proper indication, unlike some other valve manufacturers where the dial system goes up and down due to the way the valve's designed. The bag itself is a really nice, strong, sturdy bag, and they took a lot of details into this with Vango. That actually, it's kind of a roller bag, but you've got a lip that comes down. So you can, what you can basically do is, with the straps, is kind of strap it into the bag first. So you can essentially, that's your bag width. So that's a really good indication of size and how big it wants to be. And then what you can do yet again is kind of wrap it in here, put it in the clip, and then actually compress it down before rolling it in the bag. And what that joys that means is actually that even if you don't necessarily get it to a big enough size, sort of a small enough size when it's out the bag, you can compress it down, then roll it in. So you've got one point to ratchet up, and then a second point on the bag itself. So yet again, as we know, the hardest part of anything with packing away is pretty much getting it back in the bag. So that's a really good guide because it gives you, say, how wide you want it to be, and then you can actually then compress it down. But like I said, check out our little sort of tutorial videos. We go quite in depth with some of the packing away and the best methods to go through it. Things about the Anantara, obviously you've got this really nice sort of kind of grey polycotton fabric with an aluminium pole for the little brow canopy. On the front here you've got a zip that runs all the way up and down and along, and what that allows you to do is actually put an additional front awning on the front of it if you wanted that extra bit of space. But admittedly it's quite big as it is, but I know certain people like to have a sort of more room, mainly because if it starts chucking down rain you are situated whatever area you got under cover. One thing you also got throughout the whole of the tent is webbing storm straps. So every single garret point, which is different to sort of the years gone by, you can actually get the ultimate amount of structure and actually much ease of tensioning in, as you can see there. The front, you've got this really smart opening door system where there's about 14 to 15 different kind of configurations you can put with it. And we've done a separate video again, sorry to keep you making you watch different things, but about all the door functions and the way you can do it. But it's quite smart that you can always have it sort of like a quarter open, half, you know, 3/4, and you can go sort of either way. So you have a little mini entrance one side and then another entrance on the other. One thing that also comes with it is obviously you get some really nice sort of strong plastic pegs. It's probably worth maybe venturing out and getting a bit of rock pegs as well. But also the amount of mesh you've got on this is quite incredible. So not only have you got mesh doors everywhere, so you've got a side mesh door, not only in the canopy area, but then one either side of the main living area, but then you've also got low level ventilation beneath the windows. So that's will really help give you circulation air and certainly help fight condensation. Because I mean, that's certainly one thing that's been more and more of an issue nowadays. And that's why, yet again, having a polycotton fabric is kind of even more important than your normal polyester. But let's have a look on the inside and talk through a few more features that this Anantara has to offer. So now when you're in Anantara, you can kind of get a bit more of a scope for certainly the size you've got in here, as well as I was talking about on the outside, the headroom itself. One thing I forgot to mention actually on the front door is the joy is that actually not only can it go sort of inwards, but there's two zips, you can create like a little kind of ventilation point, almost like a little veranda on the top to get a good airflow without having sort of the draft coming down low. So that's quite a nice little thing as well. Opposite the door to the canopy area, you've also got windows. So you've got a window position on the side and obviously at the front as well. Every window you see, there is also a privacy curtain, and actually every single one is also a zip-up privacy curtain as well. So you get the ultimate of privacy when you want to, but the versatility of get crystal clear views in and out of the campsites. Generally, even the front panels, are zip ones as well. A great depth in the canopy as well means that even if you're cooking or using this as kind of extra living area, you've got plenty of space to put sort of tables and chairs or happily a cook set. This is one model we're going to have up on our indoor display showroom, so it's up all year round, and we're just off the M5, so you always come and check it in. And I think when you spend this kind of level of money, it's probably maybe worth having a sort of touch and feel. If not, hopefully these videos are a bit more help to you. Joys of it actually is the fact that you've also got, when you go into the main living area as such, you can actually take the lip down. So the dividing door can be completely zipped back and then toggled, kept at bay if you wanted to. Alternatively, you can actually enclose it and have it as one kind of separate area from another. When you have the zip all the way back, like we kind of have all here, this part here will come down. So if I go along the bottom, so yeah, again, you can roll that back, like I said, and then this lip can actually peg down nice and flat, so it's really easy to do. A really nice ventilation panel is in between the two areas, so you can get a good circulation there, but still kind of have, like use this as a dividing door, so you can have sort of cupboards or larders and position it how you want to, certainly on the inside as well as essentially in the main canopy area itself. Alternatively, what probably makes a lot of sense is having the ability to kind of roll it back. So I just do a bit of a rush job just to kind of keep it where it needs to be. And then what you can do is you can detach the zip from the actual bottom, and then it lays completely flat. Use that pegging points if you want to. So again, you've got a real nice no trip hazard straight into the main area, and then by doing that you can really get a feel for the sheer amount of size in here. I mean, I'm about 6'2", and the interior height, mainly because, like I said, that villa construction on the side walls is absolutely brilliant. I can be right near the bottom, but still have plenty of headroom. That also helps necessarily, not only with kind of headroom, but things like general putting wardrobes, things like that. If the wardrobe is a more slope, it can't go back further, so you can't get the base right to the base. So with this, you can get closer to the back there, and you can get a better sort of coverage. Zip curtains, like I said, positioned on every single one. The choice of zips actually is much more versatile. You can actually sort of have it halfway, folded like so, so it's the same sort of thing. Get a bit of light in, but also have the privacy when you want to as well. In the main body and in the canopy area, you've got sort of little sky windows as well, which can be covered up in the living area, but not quite in the sort of canopy area, because it's more of a kind of an external area, not necessarily that you can actually seal it completely. But generally, because it's only in the sky, it doesn't really make a difference. Just throws a bit of light in, not when you're actually sleeping. And yet again, with all the curtains, you've got little toggle points down, located down here, so you can just happily chuck it in a mini little pocket and then keep it in position as well. Nice and easy like that. This is essentially a 6-berth, but you can buy an additional inner bedroom if you wished to go in this area here. The joys of then probably sort of making it be an extra cost is that the 90% of people who don't want it don't have to sort of build into the price. So yet again, they're about £50, 55 quid to go in here. They basically go onto the Skytrack system and there's just hooks in the ground. Or alternatively, if you want to put anyone sleeping in the awning area, there is a freestanding inner bedroom you can purchase that we've got on our website that you can, yet again, give you the versatility of putting them wherever you want to be sleeping. In the sleeping area as such, you've got, because it's kind of a lighter fabric in the roof to help it feel a bit brighter inside the main body, you've got a much darker fabric in here. And yet when you zip yourself in, it really does help to sort of block out most of the lights and hopefully give yourself a bit longer in bed and a bit more of a restful night's sleep. But the more importantly is, with Vango, as you come to spec, you've got the spec, so you've got zip dividers all the way around between all the sections. So what you can have this as is a 2, 2 and a 2. Alternatively, zip them all back and have it as a big sort of open 6-berth. As you can, so you can unzip it and go from room to room. But the height of this is brilliant because, yet again, you haven't got to sort of stoop down and get changed in the morning. You can more than happily get changed in here, no problem. And yet again, a big, nice mesh panel at the front to help with circulation. You've still got little features like storage pockets hidden away to sort of put keys or small torches, and even in the sort of kind of what they call the palmets, you've still got storage pockets there. But you can buy additional storage organisers to either hang off the Skytrack system to go down there or between the sort of window compartments. And this is probably one of the only models now in the market that in Vango's collection that has Skytrack running all the way down to the bottom, so you can still utilise that. So if you don't know what Skytrack is, it's a small little almost beading thing that sticks to the side of beams, and it gets 10 sky hooks with it. So that gives you the ability to create a hanging point for a lantern or whatever you wish, any way you like. So by having a few, you could actually hang lantern point and then have the mains cable being quite happily tucked away nice and high, so it's not going to sort of get any headroom, down to cable entry points which you've got scattered around the tent. So you have pretty much one on main sort of 2 sides and then also the front as well. And the Vango have gone to the level actually of including a little cable entry point at the top here. So if you've got anything like their Flexi Saber lights or the Sunbeam system, you can probably put the cable through there without having the door open the whole time. And like I said, you've got also in the main canopy a little Skytrack everywhere there. So like I said, this is Vango's top level tent, full stop. So you've got all the features that you come to know, even like things like TBS, so a tension band system, which is a webbing strap located in the pocket here. And all it does is create a triangle kind of formation into the little clips to give you a bit more rigidity in sort of higher wind conditions. So if your wind's coming from this side, it's basically going to stabilise that and create a triangle position from the top down and out with the garret points. It's something they use in the high-end backpacking tents, but something they've always filtered into their tunnel tents. So yet again, that's a unique feature to Vango. It's not something you would probably use a lot of time, but if you leave the tent for a while or it's getting quite windy, it's another sort of kind of insurance thing you can happily put in there and give yourself a bit more peace of mind. Overall, I think the Anantara is a really nice model. I think it's kind of hard to beat it for space, and like I said, with the kind of unique features of deeper bedrooms, actually I've not mentioned that, deeper bedrooms. So a normal camp bed will happily fit in here now. Previously, things like the Illusion, for example, you always struggle because they're about 2 meters 10 long, which is fine for a generic airbed, which is nice and low, but as soon as you go up higher with the slope, you lose that. So having that deeper bedroom means you can get camp beds in as you want to, so really you can actually get more like camping with comfort. Big mesh doors on the side, like I said, for help with circulation. So not only you've got it on the side, but there's one above the back in the bedroom area, and then you run to the main panel of the dividing door between the canopy and awning area for circulation, and below the windows, like I said, on the outside. So yet again, loads of ventilation to keep it sort of fresher and airier inside. But nice model, plenty of talking points, certainly one to have a watch for the new season. And also, any questions or queries, let us know what you think of the tent itself in the comments box below, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. But that's kind of our video review on the Vango Anantara TC600XL.